Fellow St. Lucians, let me start by wishing each and every St. Lucian, both at home and abroad, a happy, a healthy, productive, and prosperous New Year. Let us pledge to build a better St. Lucia together in 2025. As we start this new year, it is an appropriate time to reflect on our lives, to recognize our shortcomings, and to celebrate our gains. It is also the time to resolve to do better and commit to changes in our thoughts and actions so that our individual lives may contribute to the advancement of our country and humanity. As a people, we must be less selfish if we are to live truly fulfilling lives. As we embark upon this moment of reflection and renewal, I urge you to commit to goodwill and unity in the year ahead, to extending love and kindness to each other, especially towards the most vulnerable in our midst. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The true measure of a society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members." Put another way, the strength of the societal chain is as strong as its weakest link. We therefore need to give special attention to the vulnerable and marginalized if we are to benefit from a strong and resilient society. It is the only way to build a strong St. Lucia. In exercise of our individual rights to freely associate with others, politically and otherwise, we must never lose our humanity and fairness in the way we deal with others who may be different. Let us always remember we are one St. Lucian people with a common destiny and a shared purpose to make our country a better place for ourselves, future generations, and visitors who come to our shores to enjoy the beauty of our island and its people. The year 2024 was in many respects an inspirational and very productive year for our country, particularly in the field of sports, economic growth, youth employment, tourism, healthcare, education, and infrastructure. In 2024, we registered significant economic growth. We increased social support to the vulnerable population, expanded scholarship disbursements, enhanced healthcare services, youth development, financial support to small and medium-sized businesses. We expanded housing opportunity for public servants and increased incomes to pensioners. It was a year in which St. Lucia accomplished considerable progress based on the solid achievements of this government, and these achievements, powered by our mission of putting people first, will be the building blocks for even greater progress in 2025 as we work together for continuous improvements. Despite imported global inflation and an unstable world environment, supply chain disruptions, and the impact of Hurricane Beryl on the agriculture and fisheries sectors, St. Lucia experienced 3 consecutive years of economic growth. 2 consecutive years of primary surpluses, which enabled us to service the interest component of our debt obligations. This is testament to the sound economic policies of financial stabilization, debt sustainability, social relief, and economic growth pursued by this government since July 2021. However, I am aware that the country is continuing to experience the effects of imported inflation as reflected in the rising cost of goods, particularly in the supermarkets. In 2021, global inflation had risen to about 8%, caused by the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain disruptions, and the war in Ukraine. And while it has begun to subside in some major economies, it is still significantly above pre-pandemic levels for the majority of countries, including St. Lucia. I wish to stress that this inflation is imported. We do not influence the cost of imported goods, but as a government which cares, we have taken measures to reduce the price of these goods to consumers. We continue to subsidize flour, sugar, and rice, amounting to 26.7 million from 2022 to 2024. We also continue the subsidies on 20 and 22-pound cooking gas cylinders. We increased the pensions of government and NIC beneficiaries and introduced a new minimum wage which raised the salaries of lower income workers. We have increased the tax threshold to $24,000. We have increased the fuel rebate for fishers. We have removed VAT on building materials and sanitary products. In 2025, together with the business sector, we will continue to explore a wide range of initiatives to further reduce the impact of inflation on our people. After just 2 years in operation, the country is starting to feel the economic impact of the youth economy as the ecosystem created by the Youth Economy Agency delivers on its mandate to provide finance, training, marketing, and mentorship to our young people seeking self-sustainable employment. Our youth are continuing to turn their hobbies into entrepreneurship and skills into business as envisaged by this government. It is evident that the youth economy has a positive impact on generating employment opportunities in the economy, in particularly on youth unemployment, which has dropped from a high of 37% in 2021 to 17% in 2024. The economy recorded the lowest unemployment level in over a decade at 11.8% in October 2024. The unemployment rate dropped to below 12% for 3 consecutive quarters in a calendar year, the first time in St. Lucia's history. In 2025, it's the government's aim to further reduce unemployment, particularly youth unemployment. However, we must guard against downside risks which could adversely impact the economy, such as climate change, induced weather events like tropical storms, hurricanes, droughts, as well as regional and global conflicts which can cause inflation and economic downturns in the wider world economy and by extension in St. Lucia. Tourism continues to be the leading generator of revenue, economic activity, and capital investments in the country. Community-based tourism has expanded across the country, bringing greater benefits to local communities. This trend is expected to intensify this year as government's investments and access to resources for the Community Tourism Agency reach more rural and coastal communities. 2024 was a record-breaking year for St. Lucia tourism arrivals. In October 2024, St. Lucia recorded stay-over tourist arrivals at 13% above pre-COVID 2019 levels and 15% above 2023 figures. Cruise ships arrivals are expected to be over 800,000 by the end of the cruise season. Tourism contribution to the GDP is expected to continue to rise in 2025. In the year 2024, a number of new tourism investments commenced and is expected to continue in 2025, including the Rodney Bay Marina development at the Pope site began in April, and construction on the various hotel developments continue across the country, including Secrets Resort and Spa, a 344-room renovation and refurbishment, the Mont Pinat hotels at Wedwi, Dreams at Zorji, Canals Hotel development. It's the government's philosophical position that the benefits of tourism must accrue to as many as possible. Those who are able and desirous of participating in the economy should not be excluded once they meet the acceptable standards. The Tourism Development Act will ensure certainty, thus making incentives more easily facilitated and allowing increased rewards for investors that make extra contributions to the economy. Concerns have been raised by taxi operators on the unavailability of tours, even when there are large numbers of cruise passengers. In the spirit of working together for the benefit of all, I hope that these concerns can be alleviated. In 2025, government with farmers of the country will implement measures to improve the country's food security and better livelihoods for its farmers. In 2024, farmers through the UBEC program were provided with water tanks and other agricultural inputs to increase the yield from their farms. In 2025, the Farm Worker Support Program will continue. This year, support for farmers will be intensified to reduce the food import bill and provide healthy, locally grown fruits and vegetables to the citizens. In 2024, government increased the fuel rebate for registered fishers with cooperative societies from 150 to 250 per gallon with a maximum allocation of 6,000 gallons per vessel and up to $15,000 per quarter. This initiative aims to alleviate operational costs and support the livelihoods of our fishers. $430,000 was provided to 38 registered fishers in Sufre who experienced loss and damage from the passage of Hurricane Beryl. The CIP program continued to do well in 2024. Notwithstanding efforts from the opposition in collaboration with hostile and badly motivated foreign sources to destabilize, destroy, and cause reputational damage to St. Lucia. We will continue to work closely with the UK, the US, and the EU authorities, and with other OECS countries with similar programs to preserve and protect the confidence in the program. An interim regulatory authority has been established to enact the necessary regulation to monitor the activities of CIP programs operating within the Eastern Caribbean Union. The presence of the regulatory authority will enhance transparency and accountability and help protect the integrity of passports from the various territories. Meanwhile, St. Lucia's due diligence processes remains one of the most rigid in the world, with our CIP program rated among the top 3 in the world by recognized international rating agencies. Notwithstanding the challenges of the high cost of healthcare, the government's mission to provide accessible, quality, and affordable healthcare to all its citizens remains high on its agenda. In December last year, we opened phase 1 of the Betty Wells Urban Polyclinic at the Dr. Winston Paris Medical Complex, formerly Victoria Hospital. The polyclinic will provide a wide range of medical services to serve the Castries Basin and beyond. The National Eye Clinic was also opened during that month at the medical complex, offering general eye care, laser treatment, and diabetic screening. Emergency care continues to be a major challenge in our healthcare system. In response to this challenge, the government in 2025 will expand the emergency facilities at the Dr. Martin Didier Polyclinic in Grosley and retrofit and reintroduce services to the public at the former emergency ward at Victoria Hospital. In 2025, work will commence on the 5th wing of the OKEU Hospital. In 2021, we inherited a debt of over $79 million due to local, foreign healthcare providers, suppliers of medicines, and other products, thus compromising the delivery of quality healthcare in the country. Apart from increasing the financial allocation to healthcare in consecutive budgets from 2022, in 2024, an injection of $15 million into the OKEU was government's latest response to alleviate some of the challenges being experienced by this institution. The $15 million was used to clear a mounting backlog of payables that was threatening OKEU's ability to secure medical supplies. Of this amount, 10 million came from the CIP program and the balance of 5 million from the consolidated fund. Notwithstanding this recent government intervention, there remain significant amounts owed to local and private suppliers and healthcare providers. In 2025, we'll continue to reduce this large debt in an effort to make medical supplies and equipment available in a timely manner to the public. Despite the growing cost of healthcare, the enhancement of free medical services to registered citizens will be expanded in 2025 at health and wellness centers. These services will include ultrasound screening for pregnant mothers, testing for breast cancer and prostate cancer will also be made available. The long overdue Lavissus Health and Wellness Center has been completed with the official opening expected later this month. And improvements to healthcare centers will continue during 2025. Like the rest of the region, St. Lucia continues to suffer from the brain drain of its nurses to developed countries like the United Kingdom and United States. The government intends to do all it can to keep our locally trained nurses at home and committed to serving in our healthcare system. While this government recognizes the need to provide for primary and secondary healthcare, the sustainable good health of our nation requires the adoption of healthy lifestyles that embraces physical, mental, and emotional well-being. In 2020, 79.8% of deaths in St. Lucia were attributed to chronic non-communicable diseases. This statistic speaks to the need for our population to adopt healthy lifestyles, changes in our diet and social interaction, and physical exercise. We need to work together to implement strategies to reduce stress in the workplace, at home, and in the communities so as to maintain the mental wellness of our people. I urge all of you to exercise personal responsibility in the use of the roads and reduce the high rate of accidents and fatalities by driving less recklessly and having more regard for other road users. Accidents and violence are expensive and divert resources that could be used to provide well-needed health care in other areas. After securing the necessary funding from the Saudi Fund for Development, we are at the final stage of completion and commissioning of a new, modern, fully equipped St. Jude Hospital at the original site. We are confident that the new St. Jude Hospital will open its doors to the public in 2025. Once again, I want to thank the medical staff and workers at the hospital for working under such challenging conditions at the stadium for many years. I want to assure you that the end to your ordeal is over. The issue of crime has been a concern for all governments in the region. In St. Lucia, this administration remains resolute and unwavering in its commitment to make this country a more secure place. That is why we have adopted a multidimensional approach and together to continue to fight this scourge in our communities. One of the major elements in this approach was to strengthen the government agencies directly responsible for dealing with crime. In the last 3 years, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force has been consistently provided with human, physical, legislative, and operational resources to improve its capacity to deter, detect, and prosecute criminal activity. In 2024, the government continued to furnish the Royal St. Lucia Police Force with a range of vehicles and other equipment. Additionally, 79 new police recruits graduated in November 2024, bolstering the human resource capacity of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. By December 2025, 160 new recruits will be added to the ranks of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. The government is improving the working environment for the police. Work is advancing on the construction of critical facilities, such as the Northern Divisional Police Headquarters, while the drug unit and the custody suites demolished by the last administration will be opened in 2025. We have been providing the police with the tools necessary to make it an efficient crime-fighting machine and will continue to do so in the year ahead. As I said earlier, this government is utilizing a multifaceted approach to crime suppression. We have therefore embarked upon a number of social intervention programs for the SSDF, the Ministry of Equity, and the Ministry of Crime Prevention. These include programs targeted at young males and youth at risk in schools and communities. We'll continue to expand this initiative in 2025. We'll also work in partnership with our fellow CARICOM member states who have recognized that some aspects of crime and violence that are plaguing all our member states must be tackled regionally, including the adoption of a public health approach to crime. However, together as citizens, we must play our part in combating the scourge of crime in our country. We must find ways to resolve our conflicts peacefully, take responsibility for our families, set better examples for our children by instilling respect and truthfulness in all our actions, and showing more love and respect for others and for the environment. The fiscal year 2024-2025 was dubbed the Year of Infrastructure, but infrastructure development will continue beyond March and be intensified throughout 2025, with significant investments in housing, seaports, airport, and road construction. The congestion on the Sir Julian R. Hunt Highway, which could have been alleviated 8 years ago, were it not for the cancellation in 2016 of the fully financed plans for its improvement, is of serious concern to the government. And in 2025, there will be a number of initiatives to relieve it. Additionally, the Shock Bridge is to be replaced with a new one. Several new roads were built around the island in 2024, noteworthy being the $10 million Majomel Road in Labrador. Work will continue this year on the Chaussee Road and roads in Vieux-Fort South and Vieux-Fort North, among others. We expect the Millennium Highway and East Coast Road to be completed in 2025. In 2025, a new potholing patcher truck will be commissioned to improve the road surface in the island. In 2024, we opened the newly constructed PI Bridge in Choiseul, first conceptualized under Labour administration from 2015. We also built and opened the new jetty and convenience facilities for fishers in Miko North, significantly improving the working environment for the fisher folks of the Miko village. In 2024, improvements were made to the Choiseul fishing facility, and hopefully sedimentation at the pond will be reduced. New human resource development centers will be opened this year in Grand Riviere Grosley, Boston Joseph in Castries South, Cul-de-sac in Castries East, and repairs will be undertaken to HRDCs in several communities, including Ansoray, Denry South, and Miko South. Repairs to the Pralle Early Childhood Development Center will be completed. Construction of the House of Justice, a project conceived over a decade ago, will be achieved. A public-private partnership has commenced on the Bolt Agreement, and the government, in keeping with its consensus approach to governance, will work together in good faith with the Catholic Church to address the Church's concerns. Throughout the year, significant progress was achieved on other major projects, such as the Library Market and Square and the Serenity Park in Sanssouci. A new building was acquired for conversion into a West Coast fire service substation to provide essential services to the community of Ansoray, Canneries, and the environs starting this year. The Rock Hall housing development will continue this year, aimed at improving conditions and accessibility of housing in the island. The Castries Cruise Port Development Project, undertaken by Global Ports Holding GPH, has commenced. The compromise customs building has been demolished, and DCA approval is expected in 2025 for the construction of a new building and other aspects of the project to allow for full commencement in 2025. In the case of Port Soufriere, due to the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl, temporary repairs have been completed on the existing jetties. Extensive investigation work is being conducted to rehabilitate the existing jetties in the master plan for the development of the area. Construction is expected to commence this year. The redevelopment of Yonro International Airport will continue in a prudent and responsible way. The government could not have allowed the largest infrastructural project in the country to continue in such a disorganized manner. For example, without a completed bill of quantities and a competitive tendering process. In addition, financing for the project would have incurred financial costs as high as 13% at some stages in its construction. Since every payment made to the contractor, there would have been an 8% transactions cost added to the 5% interest rate. Work on the air traffic control tower was stopped and the contractor discharged in 2024. A new contractor will be selected through a tendering process to complete the facility in 2025. As it pertains to the terminal building, a complete bill of quantities has been prepared and construction will commence in 2025 after a competitive tendering process has been conducted by SLASPA. Education also received significant attention in 2024. We expanded the one laptop per student and the one university per household programs by strengthening our collaboration with Monroe College, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and scholarship donor countries like Cuba, Taiwan, and Morocco. In September 2024, 4 new technical and vocational education and training TVET schools in Marigot, Angers, Dennery, and PI were commissioned. A $1 million grant was made to the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College for critical repairs to the science block in 2025. There were also critical interventions in early childhood education, including a $2,500 grant to each privately registered centers. In 2025, 3,409 children at these centers will receive a $50 subsidy to assist in the payment of their school fees. The government hired 24 new principal assistants to enhance the administration of schools. In 2025, major rehabilitation will take place in Enchipo, Grand-Riviere, and Pierre and Plainview combined schools, and major repairs in other schools. There will be continued investment in digitization and procurement of ICT equipment to help in the teaching of science and technology. Government will continue to enhance the teaching environment for students and teachers by increasing the number of principal assistants at primary schools. In 2025, together with the private sector, government will continue to seek to match employment skills with the needs of the private sector. In 2024, St. Lucia took a historic step by appointing Honorable Jeremiah Norbert as the first ever Minister for Persons with Disabilities, reflecting a transformative policy shift in addressing the needs of individuals living with disabilities. In the 2025 fiscal year, the administrative structure for the Department of Disabilities will be implemented, and government will continue to cooperate with NGOs to ameliorate the circumstances of those challenged by disabilities. In 2024, the Insolvency Act aimed to provide citizens facing financial challenges with the means to renegotiate loan terms with creditors, pause foreclosures, and retain their investments while managing debts. This legislation is designed to offer relief and support for individuals navigating economic hardships. In 2025, the Controlled Substances Bill will be enacted, providing the framework for commercial cannabis industry. The government, after consultations with the private sector, demonstrated its commitment to improving the living standards of workers by implementing the minimum livable wage on 1st October, guaranteeing a minimum monthly salary of $1,141 for all workers. Over 13,000 low-income earners benefited from this initiative. Further, we increased government's minimum pension to $750 per month and raised the National Insurance Corporation minimum pension to $500 per month from a low of $300, positively impacting more than 3,400 pensioners. In 2025, first-time homeowners will benefit from a $20 million loan facility established at the St. Lucia Development Bank. A waiver of stamp duty for mortgages up to $400,000 will further assist loan beneficiaries. Public servants will be eligible for a $1,000 contribution towards legal costs of mortgages. To strengthen the delivery of community services, 4 new ambulances were provided to the St. Lucia Fire Service. Significant funds were allocated for the procurement of additional fire equipment and ambulances to ensure improved emergency response capabilities across the island in 2025. I wish to thank the men and women of the St. Lucia Fire Services for their hard work and their commitment to their duties. A clean environment is very important to the well-being of a neighborhood, a community, and by extension, a country. And the presence of garbage, especially derelict vehicles on roadside curbs, provides the breeding conditions for disease-carrying mosquitoes, rodents, germs, and soil and water contaminants. This is unacceptable and must be remedied to protect our people, the environment, our communities, and our tourism products. As a country, let us work together to protect and preserve our landscape by practicing proper garbage disposal habits so that we can maintain a clean and pristine environment. In 2025, government working with community groups, St. Lucia Development, St. Lucia Social and Development Fund, and the Solid Waste Management Authority will intensify efforts in creating a cleaner and more enjoyable environment and ensuring a healthier St. Lucia for all. In August, our sense of national pride was ignited by the historic performance of Julian Alfred at the Paris Summer Olympics. By capturing St. Lucia's first ever Olympic gold and silver medals in the women's 100 and 200 meter races respectively. She brought the world's spotlight on our country. In so doing, she provided exceptional exposure and promotion for the country as millions of international viewers instantly discovered our beautiful country and its unique tourism products. It was indeed very gratifying to witness the tremendous appreciation shown to Miss Alfred by the government and people of St. Lucia on her return to the country in September. She has made us proud, and for that, the entire country is thankful. 2024 was a successful year for sports in St. Lucia. St. Lucia Kings captured their first Caribbean Premier League T20 cricket title. St. Lucia returned the OECS Boxing Championships in 2024. Three St. Lucian female cricketers were included in the West Indies T20 World Cup and One Day International Cricket squads. St. Lucia was victorious in the 2024 Winnet Islands Under-15 cricket tournament. St. Lucia led Group B in the CONCACAF Nations Football League going into the second round. To all the sportsmen and women who represented our country in 2024, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your hard work and commitment to national duty, and you are an inspiration to us all. In 2025, Darren Sammy will become the West Indies cricket coach for all formats of the game. On behalf of the government and people of St. Lucia, we offer our congratulations and wish him well. In 2025, infrastructure work aimed at improving the conditions of several playing facilities around the island will commence. Our government has allocated over $1 million for the design and site preparation of the George Odlum Stadium as a first step to restore and transfer of this facility to the sports community. As we welcome 2025, it is evident that our nation stands on a foundation of significant progress across various sectors, from strides made in sports and tourism to the impactful policies in labor, education, and healthcare. St. Lucia continues to demonstrate resilience and vision. The government's commitment to improving the lives of our citizens is reflected by the reduction of unemployment, the strengthening of community infrastructure, and investments in economic stability and growth. The achievements of 2024 serve both as a testament to an inspiration for what we can accomplish together as a united people. As we embark on this new year, let us continue to build on these successes, foster unity, and work collectively towards a brighter and more prosperous St. Lucia. Together, we can ensure a future filled with opportunities, progress, and lasting development for all. We have good reasons to be proud of this place we call home. Let us come together to make our country a better place for ourselves, our children, and future generations. Let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. All things are passing. God never changes. Patience obtains everything. He who has God lacks nothing. God alone suffices. I end with this prayer from St. Teresa of Avila. I thank you.